Salesforce Space Station.
Hi everyone, on this video I'm going to teach you how to enable and how to use Lightning Page Dynamic Form. So we have three topics to discuss. Number one is how to enable dynamic forms. Number two is how to add filters on the fields and sections. And then number three will be the dynamic forms limitations. So let's dive into it. So once you are in the record page of the object that you wanted to enable the dynamic forms, all you need to do is go to the setup and then click on edit page. So once you are here, you need to locate the record detail page. So usually it will be on the under details tab, and then that will be the component inside it. So just click on it, select that record detail component, and then from the right side you will see this upgrade now button. Then from here, all you need to do is check this checkbox so that it will copy over the page layout that is currently being used, and then just select the layout that you wanted to copy. So for this time I'm just going to select account layout and then click on finish. So once that is done, you will see that the page changes, and you will now have the control over specific fields. Earlier you can just select this one or select the whole page inside the detail section, but right now you have the control over each field and each sections as well. I can see here I have a control on this field and have a control over this account information section, and then there's another control on the field section. So if I go further down, you can see also that I have control over additional fields. So if I click on this, you can see the additional fields, and there's a whole lot of sections under additional fields, which is address information. So I can select that address information altogether, and I can also select the fields individually inside it. So that's the key characteristics or features that you can use with the dynamic forms. So what can you do about it? So the dynamic forms can be used to filter what the users see on the record page. So once the record data is upgraded to Lightning page, you can add filter visibility on every field and sections, and you can also add more fields or remove fields in this view, and it will supersede or override the object's page layout from the setup. So whatever you configure here, that will be the what's showing on the record once we save it. So the dynamic forms can be very powerful. For example, you wanted to have a different feel or a different page layout readily available for specific user profile. Or for example, you just have a pick list value here that's once you select a specific value, it will show the additional fields that needs to be filled. So that your users will be won't be confused about all the fields that it's being displayed on the layout without knowing really what it is. So in order to add the filter, for example, let's use account owner. This one. Then let's add a filter here. So for the filter, just to be very basic with it, I'm going to use a pick list field to control the visibility of this field, which is the account owner. So for that, I'm going to use this field, which is called type. So let's just search for type and then equals prospect. So what this means is that account owner will only be visible in the layout if your type is equal to prospect. If it's not equals prospect, then this will be hidden. So that's ultimately the filter that we're going to apply. So click on done, save, and then let's go back. So as you can see here, the account name is there. Let's now change the type to prospect. Once we save it, an additional field above here will be should be showing. As you can see, we can see the account owner showed up after we changed it to prospect. So what if I change it again? Notice that this section will be gone, or this field will be gone. There you go. So as you can see, it can be very powerful because you can not only just use it to hide a specific field based on values of the other field. You can also hide a whole section. For example, this whole account information, you want to hide this one. If type is not equals customer direct, you can definitely do that, and all other sections about below here. So that's how powerful. That's how can dynamic form can be so powerful when configuring. And what else? Also, you can, as I have mentioned earlier, let's go back to the edit page. You can remove and add fields to the record detail section once you upgraded it into a dynamic form. So in order to do that, you will have this field section once you upgraded the record detail page into a dynamic one. Then from here, you can select all the account fields available in the system. You can also delete some of the fields that you don't want to be seen on the layout, and that should give you some control over, or a lot of control over, your page layout compared to just the regular page layout that we're using on the page setup. So even though the dynamic form is powerful enough to do those such things, of course there will still be some limitations. There's quite actually a lot at this moment, but I'm going to only highlight the few important ones. So number one would be dynamic form is supported on record pages for custom objects, accounts, contacts, opportunities, cases, and leads only. So right now I'm using account, so that's why I was able to enable the dynamic form. So for example, this won't work on other standard objects. Like for example, let's go to campaign. From here, click on edit page. So basically we're just gonna do the same thing that we did on the account layout. But you can see here that the dynamic form will not be available. So this is the same thing. I'm going to select the record detail page for the campaign object. And as you can see, the upgrade now button is not visible here. So that's one of the limitations. It can only be on contacts, account, opportunity, and leads, and all other custom objects. But for some standard objects, it's still not available. So other limitation would be blank spaces aren't supported. So if you know on the page layout on inside setup, you can add blank spaces in order to fill or to line up your fields. But using a dynamic form, unfortunately, that's still a limitation. And lastly, you can only add 100 fields. So for example, this section, you can only add 100 fields on this side, and then another 100 fields on this side. So that is limited to 100 fields only because, of course, we don't want to overcrowd the page layout that's being used by our users, so that if information won't be lost, right? So that's the purpose of limiting the fields that you can add on each section. So as I've mentioned, there's a lot more limitations when it comes to dynamic forms. In order to access that or see that, you can visit the Salesforce help site and just search for dynamics forms limitations. And you can see here there's a lot more limitations, but most of this is just a minor ones. It will still outweigh the pros of using dynamic forms, so you should try it out. I hope this video helps you a lot, and then I'm just going to see you in the next one. Thanks everyone.
Salesforce Space Station.